The Jefferson Parish Commissioner finds probable cause and denies bond for two suspects arrested in the death of a Kansas City reporter who was in the city of New Orleans covering the Super Bowl.
What's good, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. Like, share, subscribe, comment. IG to the top bottom of the video, and we're gonna hop right into it. So today we'll be doing an update on the first video I think I put out in February. Second one was in March. It had to be in March looking back at the videos. So we're doing an update, and it was at the time my most long viewed video on the channel. Something else took over now, but it's still close. And we will be doing another update on the reporter that now we know basically got murdered before he was able to report on the Super Bowl, the Kansas City reporter, Adan Manzano. So, give you a quick rundown on what happened previous before we get into the new updates and what we know now and then. So, what we know then is Adan Manzano was found dead in his hotel room. He was found face down in his pillow with no leviticity. What's the damn? I'm gonna fuck this word up. Leviticity. Leviticity around his face. So usually, if you don't know what, look, I definitely probably fucked that word up. But if you don't know what that is, after somebody dies, usually their body, naturally takes a discoloration process. So his body around his mouth in this area was not taking a discoloration process, which usually means that maybe your body was underwater or some other things. So but usually that part of your body was in water. So what they have found to be Adan Manzano's cause of death was a combined effects of Xanax, alcohol, and the position he was laying in. So they don't know the manner of the death, but real quick, I'm gonna get my prediction for the manner because of the evidence that we have. So before I say that, the cause of death, so it was the combined effects, not that he overdosed on one. So his blood alcohol level was extremely high. It was 0.232, which is almost 3 times the legal amount, which is point 0.8 or 0.08. Now as far as Xanax in his system, now he was found, it was 25 nanogram. I think I'm fucking that word up too, bro. Nanograms per milligram. But most people who are actually prescribed Xanax and have a healthy dose of Xanax every day are around 30, and most overdoses are around 100. So it wasn't like he had a extreme amount of Xanax in his system. He had a decent amount, obviously, but the Xans, the alcohol, and then him being face down is what end up, having him, what end up killing him. So, what I think happened, what we partially know happened, obviously, he was given these things. He was given these things, and then I think they did some type of thing to cover his mouth, and that was supposed to put him to sleep, and it ended up killing him. And that's why he was like this in this position. So, what we also so now what we gathered from everything else, it was who was in the hotel room with him is a Danette Colbert. She is of a Louisiana suburb. I forgot the city name already, and last time I fucked it up and somebody corrected my pronunciation in the comments. So y'all names the city too hard to pronounce for all that shit anyway. So Danette Colbert has now been charged with second-degree murder. She also has some fraud charges, computer charges, and things like that. I'll tell you why in a couple seconds. But Danette Colbert, charged with second-degree murder. She was seen walking. She was seen walking in with Adan Manzano to go up to the hotel room, and she was seen leaving later that night without him because obviously he died in the hotel room. And she was later found with his credit cards and things of that nature. So that is what we originally found, or originally was the thing. So then later we got a second suspect, which is a Ricky Barnes. Ricky Barnes was actually found in Hollywood, Florida. He originally was charged with fraud and computer charges. So we what's the new update is we didn't know exactly how Ricky. I said, did I call him Ricky Barnes? I keep fucking that up. Ricky White. I don't know why I keep calling him Ricky Barnes. But what we didn't know from Ricky White and about why he was connected, because first he didn't have a murder charge. Now they have upgraded his charges to one charge of second degree murder. And so what we are getting out, that obviously if they both got a murder charge, he was her accomplice somehow. But how was he accomplice is the question. So he never he never came in contact with Mr. Manzano. But Ricky and Danette had a history of this. So Danette, before even Ricky, she had already had a previous history of doing this to two other people. Obviously, she just robbed them and they survived. And I think one of them did end up suing her, and she got charged with this, and she had to give some of the money back. So she has a previous history of this already, and her and Ricky were basically communicating. They even used the terms of knockouts. So obviously, her and Ricky were consistent in doing this thing. They had did this to other people before, maybe not reported like those previous two that the net got caught for, but they obviously had a habit of doing this. And it's also said that the day that Adan was found deceased in his hotel room, Ricky and Danette communicated 30 times. And as well as one of the text messages that Danette sent to Ricky was got the phone, he got money, waiting for him to sleep, about to check the ATM, then to you. So this is why they got the computer charges and the fraud charges. So what they obviously have a ring of doing is Danette, tricks these men into thinking that they about to have a good night's sleep with her or this, that, and things of sort. She, gets them high with Zans. She gets them drunk with alcohol and gets them into a position where they just fall asleep, and then she robs them. She takes their cars, she takes their, she takes their phones to access their bank accounts, and she robs them. So obviously Ricky is her partner in doing this because he usually drives her to these events, but he did not come in contact with Mr. Manzano just because of what was going on, because they was in New Orleans for the Super Bowl and the events. So he ain't actually come in contact with Manzano. He's just her accomplice on this. So yeah, that's pretty much all the update. He's been upgraded to second degree murder. Obviously he's been now. At the time he was found in Hollywood, Florida. The police had him in Broward County correctionals, and then he had got extradited. Yeah, extradited is the word I'm looking for. I cannot talk today. He got extradited back to Louisiana, so where he is facing his charges now. Obviously, we're going to get even more about the situation, but the thing with Ricky and Danette, it described in court as a pimp prostitute situation, which to me, looking at this situation, makes a lot of sense, because in all honesty, she could have did this by herself. Obviously, she had a history of doing this already, but he really had to be nowhere involved. So obviously, he had to have some type of pimp hand like overview thing that she felt the need to keep communicating with him, and that he was helping her out in this situation. Because honestly, if you look at the details, especially with him never coming in contact with Brett, she could have did it on her own and kept all the money for herself. So it definitely had to have some type of situation like that. But yeah, it's just a crazy situation that we keep getting updates for. So yeah, but that's all I gotta say though. Like, share, subscribe, comment. I do TikTok on the video, and we out.